Thanks for coming by. I am American Jesus, and these are my opinions. This is going to start a long and tedious series about 12-step fellowships, be it Narcotics Anonymous, Alcoholics Anonymous, and basically to give you the inside scoop, so to speak, on what really goes on, my personal observations, having been a member for over 22 years, and mostly where the fellowships fall short, some of the dangers that the fellowships may hold, and some ideas on how, if you're being forced to go, to maybe be able to navigate the fellowships in a way that will not do too much damage. But fundamentally, this is going to be about how Alcoholics Anonymous and Narcotics Anonymous are no longer very good options for someone seeking recovery from addiction, alcoholism, any type of mental health disorder. And unfortunately, they're being sent there in droves. Even mental health disorders, people with schizophrenia, people with borderline personality disorder, people with sociopathic personality disorders. So, kind of not a great place to go. I do want to clarify one thing. There are different types of meetings. There are different types of people in different meetings. And obviously I wouldn't have gone for 22 years. The first 4 years were pretty good. Met a lot of nice people. I was in a different area. And the last probably 16 or so years, 18, was really to try to bring some of that stuff that I learned in my first 4 years that helped me stay clean to some of the people that I sponsored, some of the people that I worked with in the fellowships, until here recently I basically just gave up and decided that I was doing more damage by showing newcomers the level of bigotry and the level of self-righteousness that exists within the rooms, unfortunately. But that tends to happen when you have an organization that's based on fear-mongering, that's not based on trying to make people have more fulfilling, happier lives, but basically to not end up in the dirt. Yeah, that's kind of the big goal. That you kind of, if you go to traditional meetings, at least in the Dallas, Texas area, it's like, hey, we're going to keep you above ground. And it's like, yeah, okay. And I've been above ground for 15 years. Now what do I do? You know, I'm still kind of not happy. Fortunately, I found a therapist that was very, very, very useful. Worked with me about getting out of the fellowships. And after I kind of told her what my experience was, and going, and basically she came to realize that it was a den of narcissism. Which, of course, it is if you've been. But I digress. There was a lot of people early on in a different area that really helped me a lot. Were very compassionate, very understanding. They weren't about, hey, you just got to work the steps. Hey, you got to believe in a God. Hey, you got to do this. Hey, you got to do that. They were just like, hey, just keep coming to meetings. Give me a call if you need some help. If you want to talk about something, we'll go get coffee. And I miss that. It's been almost, close to 2 decades since I've really experienced that level of support with any of the meetings around here. And I've been to a bunch, and it's really turning into an Orthodox organization that people meet up, they recite the tenets of their establishment, and if you don't basically agree with them, then, you know, at best, you'll get a facetious keep coming back, which basically means please stay away. Or at best, once again, means sooner or later you're going to see it my way. And after 22 years, most of the people I was talking to had, if at best, you know, half my amount of clean time, had accomplished half the things I had accomplished, had probably, you know, just not experienced the level of different ways of working the steps. I mean, I worked with a book thumper when I went through AA. Like I said before, I worked through some very empathic steps with a very empathic gentleman. I worked through the workbook, and, you know, and so I had worked in several different ways, and it seemed like it just didn't matter. You know, people who can't stay clean in meetings were telling me to try to, you know, keep it recovery oriented. People who had recently relapsed are telling someone with 22 years who had never relapsed to try to keep it recovery oriented. That is the level, and this is like a chairperson in a meeting saying that, being backed up by somebody else with 22 years. And just blind leading the blind. And you see that in a lot of areas around here, and it's very unfortunate. A lot of areas that pop up in very conservative environments, you know, they cling to the one right way. And they put their blindfolds on to the fact that people aren't in the meetings that they've been working with, that their one way doesn't work. But, you know, it's just like any type of religion. It's not based in fact. It's based in fantasy. It's based in a belief. Everything is a belief in these fellowships. And that's unfortunate. And that's unfortunate because they tend to attract, at least, like I said, in the very conservative areas, they tend to attract very ignorant, very shaming, very judgmental, and deceptive individuals who don't even realize they're lying. And that's what I'm here to talk about. This is going to be what I'm going to do on this channel now, because I tried working within the kind of establishment. There's some groups that are trying to do stuff within the organization and not being well received, and people don't really seem to care that, you know, what works, what doesn't work, the fact that nothing seems to work, and not telling people all the options that are available, telling people lies. And I felt like for a long time, probably the last 5 years, that it was my duty, because I was sent to my first meeting via the suicide hotline, that I didn't want someone like myself, who the night before had been on a phone call like that, to walk into one of these meetings. To walk into one of these meetings and have people just bombard them with lies. With, if you do what I say, then you'll be around forever. And then you go, oh, okay, cool. Show me all the people that have been around forever. Oh, well, this guy's got 2 years. Huh. How, that's not very long, is it? I mean, forever is a lot longer than 2 years. Oh, well, he's got 5 years. Yep. How long has this organization been around for? Just a couple years now? Because this room should literally be overflowing with people with multiple decades of time. And they're not. Bottom line, they're not. And that's all the evidence you need. That's all the evidence you need. Yes, for a lot of people like myself, it's the only option when you don't have health insurance, when you don't have coverage, when you're redundant. But anyways, this was just the introductory video. I'm going to do a bunch of videos. I'm going to do topics and things that I've come across, sayings. It's going to be somewhat ugly because it's an ugly business, and it is a business. Especially when you get up into world service, it definitely is a business. And so yeah, if that's what you're interested in, or if you came across one of my other videos and you want to actually see, what my credentials are, my pedigree, so to speak, then I hope you watch this video. I will put this video, link to this video and all of my other videos, so that you can come by here and you don't have to look like an idiot and say, oh, well, obviously you were new and you're not one of us, or you never worked the steps, or you don't know what you're talking about, or you never went to my meeting. Of course I never went to your meeting. I couldn't have possibly gone to every meeting. The point is that when you send somebody to a meeting, you don't know what that meeting's like. You don't know if that meeting's full of fascist, conservative people that are throwing books at newcomers as they're walking through the door, or if it's actually good. If it's actually helpful. If it's actually there to support you. Hey, how you doing, man? How you doing? Oh, come on, let me talk. You want to go get some coffee and we'll talk about it? Because you don't come here if you're just doing great and happy. But I just want to let you know, man, that, you can talk to me. You can talk to this person over here. We're not going to shove anything down your throat because that's not what the literature tells us to do. This is not Christianity. It's not our job to convert you. This one's going to be a little bit long. The other ones I've kind of cut down into short little sound bites. So you may be like, oh, that's not the whole story. Well, yes, I know that's not the whole story. I can't put 22 years in one freaking video. I'm doing the best that I can. Okay? Like, subscribe, comment. I want lots. I like the ones that are like, this guy's an idiot. Because you don't know me. Those are nice. This guy's an idiot. I apologize. I get mean. I'm kind of a dick. But I a lot of it comes from the fact that I'm really frustrated with where the fellowships are, and I'm really frustrated with the dogmatic religiosity that is present and completely lied about.
My patience is wearing thin.
And you're taunting me! And you're taunting me! Stop it! Stop it! Stop it! Stop it right now! Stop it! Stop it right now!
I'm just a little kid. Other side is something big. Do you think that what you did would bring you back to this?